Good evening, Flickin' Fanatics. Hopefully, you didn't forget about us. We did not forget about you, nor did we forget about Miss Marvel. It's time that we talk about the season finale and what a finale it was, and take a little look back on how the series went, what our thoughts are, and what we expect to see from the MCU moving forward. And hopefully, during that adventure, you share your thoughts as well. And we're going to get cracking on that right after this. Is that still up? Did I hit the button? Oh, but
yeah, I can undo it if you like.
Dude, it's so slow. Like I click the video and then I'm like, Sean's gonna take it from here. I'm just gonna hands off the keyboard and pray for the best.
It's something we should talk about beforehand
Yeah.
next time. I'll do that from now on. We'll make sure
Okay.
to do that.
That's okay. How would they know we're rusty if we didn't fuck up immediately? Hey everyone.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
What's up, man? We skipped out on last week. Just I don't know, no good reason. Probably it's just life and stuff. Life and stuff.
Busyness. Yes, exactly.
And right now we're not making quarter of a minimum living's wage doing this, so it's all hobbies and something to do in your free time. And just like any hobby, whether it's video games, skateboarding, sports, or anything like that, some days you're just not down to do it. Some days you gotta force yourself to do it.
Last week we had Thor: Love and Thunder. We did the review that night, and then Friday I had got an injury at work the week before, so it's been 2 weeks now. But last week I had doctor's appointments and then family time and everything else. Life gets busy, so we can wrap it up and talk about it.
It's not like we've been gone for a week. Like you said, we did our big review, and I think I just let last week be Thor Odinson's week.
Yeah.
And now we're back to talking Kamala.
Yes.
And we're going to find out if Kamala Khan or Kamala Khan is the discussion. That's why you come here. That's why you come here to this show. If you guys want to hear more incredible puns or our attempts at ASMR, I think I did it right that time. There's a Streamlabs link right down there. And whatever you put in there, almost whatever, we'll do our best.
Whatever.
Do some of our Audible training, some of our voice acting talents that Sean and I both have that we're very proficient in.
We are classically trained on the art of audibles, meaning we know how to talk goodly.
I'm
well.
Yeah. I'm sure both of us, at least at some point, had phone sex in our adolescence. So I think that qualifies us for this.
That's not where I was going with it, but all right.
Well, anyways, speaking of dropping F-bombs and talking about phone sex in our adolescence, let's talk about this family-friendly youth-based show called Miss Marvel, featuring Kamala Khan, the MCU's most recent addition to the MCU, and also their newest Disney Plus show. Now, I think for most people, even if you are pretty positive on the MCU, the shows have been a little hit and miss. Some stronger than others.
For most people.
And it's been fascinating to watch where this one has landed. And I'll say off the bat, I really enjoyed the show. I like it a lot. I know a lot of that has to do with the casting, actually, vastly with the casting, because I feel like when I pull back, and if you dig too deep into any one thing, whether it be certain effects shots or certain storylines or villains and stuff, you can start to find holes. So it's not a perfect show, but it is a good show. It's a good time. I liked it. We're going to talk about the series as a whole because this is the best time to do it, and also our thoughts on the last episode. So please pop in the chat. Let us know what you think. We've talked. This is our 5th episode. We only skipped one episode
because we skipped last week. Just because we skipped last week, which
just sometimes we brain fart. Sometimes we brain fart and then we just
That
can't get a
happens as
thought
well.
out. That also happens.
Like
But
right now, like to Jesse right now.
yes,
Garth,
I,
I never noticed that. It wasn't on purpose, but it works. If it works, it works. What's up, Mike? How you guys doing?
what I was gonna say is that occasionally we would put the Miss Marvel review as part of our speakeasy because we're just trying to do a lot. Which is a great transition to let you guys know that after this show, right around 9 p.m., we will be doing our speakeasy, back to talking about whatever we want to because we don't have anything on the itinerary for tonight. So join us for that. That's always a lot of fun. Grab a drink, popcorn, talk about whatever catches your fancy. Even though it's going to be hard for me not to be talking about San Diego Comic-Con next week. That's coming. Excited about that.
We can definitely talk about anticipation.
Oh, and Garth, obviously. Garth said, quick test, Jesse. What does ASMR stand for? Stands for audio SMR, right? Duh, obviously. Come on now.
Augmented stimulus, auditory stimulus, something.
I remember when we got our auto stimuluses during the pandemic. Missed those.
That would have been nice.
Hey, Gio, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, Sean is the architect of all these great designs.
Yes.
Autonomous sensory meridian response. Like I said, audio SMR. Gio says, I will watch Ms. Marvel, but I think I'm at a point where I'll wait and binge Marvel shows, aside from the ones I'm really excited about, Secret Invasion and Armor Wars. Well, Gio, if your plan is to binge it when the 6th episode drops, stay off the internet.
Yes, exactly.
Also, avoid my thumbnails because it's been a couple days and I stopped caring.
I was gonna ask you about that, which I didn't do in our group chat.
No, it's fine. I figured
you just
would
went
ask
full ham for it.
I did because there's just, if you're on YouTube and you follow anybody in the circle, it's just there. And I was like, I'm not only giving you context if you click on the video, otherwise you're like, X-Men, what? So that's fine. That's fine.
True.
I mean, we saw Reed Richards before Multiverse even dropped. So I'm not the worst. I'll just continue justifying my own sins of the sphere. Anyways, I think we're supposed to talk about Miss Marvel. Sean, just for those that haven't been following up until this point, what have you thought of the show thus far, and how did the finale land for you, or did it not?
Sorry, I was so distracted because apparently I've never logged in with this phone before.
Oh, you're fired.
I was trying to log into Twitch to the creator dashboard, and I couldn't do it on my computer for some reason. I logged out, so I was multitasking horribly. Well, what do I think of this show or the series as a whole?
Yeah,
I think exactly what Garth, and basically his favorite MCU show, even over Loki. And what's up, Amru? Amru in the chat. I agree. I think that and exactly what you said earlier, casting and charm won me over with this show. Like, I had the most fun week in, week out with this show. It was fun with Loki to like speculate, where does this lead?
Sure.
What does this mean for the greater universe? And I think that's something I've finally learned, is that this doesn't, like, none of these shows really mean a whole lot for the greater universe. We get
typically
the tease of the one reference at the end. Yes.
Yeah.
But as a great, and also the post-credit scene. But they don't tie in as much as maybe we wanted them to, or we're hoping. And the same is true with recent movies too. Thor didn't really tie in with the entire universe, and neither did Multiverse of Madness.
With the exception of WandaVision, very strictly tied into something else.
Yes.
But I think for the most part, you are correct. Yeah.
Yeah. They are very singular, and I think that's something to remember. So I think that's why Loki's, and part of the Loki's too was we had like a 6-person panel, like week in, week out. We were having a lot of fun on like King Watch, with Colin popping in every week, keeping that ball rolling.
Robert Adams in the chat.
This was more fun. What up? Everybody's hanging. This is more fun, I think, from the show itself. It just stood on its own legs. And it was a blast, and they absolutely casted this entire show perfectly. I don't think there's a single person I would replace.
Circling back to the cast again, this isn't my number one MCU show, but it might be my number one MCU cast, like for the Disney Plus series, because there's always like strong people in the forefront, whether it be Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson or Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany. but I felt like this show was filled out so well. Bruno, the Red Daggers, more or less with the villains, but with the family, this Amir, Nakia, Mom, Abu. I loved it. It was fantastic.
Indeed.
Also, we got introduced to the Scott Lang podcast, which I'm hoping that comes back around. We catch him recording an episode in
Little Me, Big Me, Big Me, Little Me. What was it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, the other way around.
And I also wanted to comment on where was it? Mike said it's Miss Marvel's in his top 3 next to Hawkeye and Loki. It's in my top 3. Ironically, Hawkeye and Loki are not. And I'll let everyone know. It's, for me, 1 is WandaVision, 2 is actually Moon Knight. Hot take, I know, that's fine. And everything hits everyone differently. And then 3 is Miss Marvel. And I think I just enjoyed the story of Moon Knight a little more than the story of Miss Marvel, but I think Miss Marvel has better characters. So they're close. It's like right there.
Moon Knight started well, like on a super high note, but then and week to week it kind of just started going down, and then it had like a little spike, but then it just kept on trailing. It was still high. It just didn't like elevate week to week because I think I loved the first episode so much.
Yeah.
So that was the only issue for
me. I think the season finale, getting into this episode specifically, they made a wise choice in kind of just discarding the whole Jin and Noor storyline. Like, it happened, but they didn't tie the finale around that, because I started off very interested in that story, and then as it proceeded and we got to like penetrating the veil and this dimension spilling over into our own, I was like, okay, I'm losing interest. And then they brought it down to earth, and it became a smaller story about Kamala protecting Kamran and getting all the kids together and stuff, and getting like a Home Alone in the school.
Yeah.
That was fun. And then more moments with their family and with Amir. Getting back to Jersey.
The whole Home Alone board they had plenty of time for all the artwork. Just like, all right, this is the exact plan. Which reminded me of Meek in Love and Thunder, how he was writing. Yeah. He was taking minutes for the meeting in New Asgard. This is not a spoiler if you haven't seen it. And all his minutes were pictures. He was animating everything that was being talked about. That was pretty good. So just to derail for a second, because we never talk about it very much.
Derail away.
Derailing away. Over on Twitch, what's up, Joey? My buddy Joey over here cheering us on Twitch. We never talk about Twitch that much because I don't play too many video games live anymore.
Hey, I almost got on Twitch the other night.
Hop on over to Twitch, Swift Wingblade. It's just our last name smushed together. You'll find us. Shout out to Joey cheering us in the chat. Appreciate you, bud.
Yeah. And go over to Twitch and let us know which name you think sounds cooler.
Garth is absolutely correct. I forgot.
Yeah, Meek's Shran. Meek had a dress in Love and Thunder. Speaking of Love and Thunder, coming up soon, our special speakeasy Live and Thunder coming at you at 9 p.m. So stay tuned for that. Amr says, small thing I think I caught in Thor is Meek is actually female. Well, by the dress suit. Yeah,
we're addressing that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Amr. Thank you, Amr. Hopefully that knowledge helps you at some point in some kind of movie trivia competition. Wouldn't that be
hopefully sometime soon? Yeah, it's not going to help at all.
Now, so this finale, we find out that not even partially the DODC, but specifically Agent Deaver is kind of the villain of the later half.
Really, though? Yeah.
And all I can think whenever Deaver does anything is that little gif of that kid that's like, that's racist.
Because that's how she's acting the entire time.
Yeah, it's terrible. And then I was watching, I don't know if it was Real Rejects or if it was Heroes Reforged, but when she comes into the mosque for like the 3rd time, they're just like screaming at their screens, take off your shoes. Mm-hmm. Which brings up another, go ahead.
Did you see the clip immediately after that scene? She's talking to Nakia, who's trying to like keep her from like going in the room, one of
Yeah.
her own agents shoulder checks her as they're walking down the hallway. And then
Oh
she
no.
actually, and it wasn't just like a missed scene, I think, I don't know, but she actually turns and looks at him, and which is where the direction of the camera was, and the agent's just walking past
I
camera.
did miss that. I did miss
Yeah,
that.
and she's just like, "What the hell?" Like, yeah, dude,
She's an
you're an asshole.
ass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
You get
I love
whatever.
my case. She's just doing her job.
And well,
uh,
and Agent Cleary is straight up like, "Shut down! Like,
yeah, and
you're going too
he's not
far."
a great guy himself
Right.
either. But even he's like, yo, bad press. Like, let's get out of there.
I think everyone was anticipating him gonna end up being a scroll, which they obviously didn't tie into. They could still go that route, or they could just be saving that for another reveal later on, because I think we're gonna see some of the DODC with She-Hulk as well. So that could be part of what's gonna go on there.
Yeah. And I started making speculations tying into some of the reveals that we'll talk about a little bit. Is what if the DODC and not, is it the MRE? I can't remember the name of the group in like X-Men, the anti mutant group. But what if the DODC is responsible for constructing Sentinels in the MCU?
Oh yeah, they absolutely could.
I just
They're taking all of
Stark
Stark's
tech.
tech,
Yeah.
yeah, and repurposing it for their own means. So yeah, they absolutely
And a
could.
lot of people were wondering how they got Stark Tech. If you remember in Homecoming, where the DODC was actually introduced in the beginning when they took over from Vulture, there's the news report that Stark funded the DODC. That was originally a Tony Stark creation. Yeah. Some people forget that.
Absolutely.
MLF? I don't know if that's right. I think that's a different group. But anyways. MRE is also meals ready to eat, so I might just be getting my acronyms.
Definitely. That you're going to go full army with that.
Yeah.
Give me some new acronym that Marvel's taken over.
So, anyways, going through this episode, I think
we have a Streamlabs? Josh, you're in luck. We absolutely do. In fact, it's right below our faces, but right above where your comment is certainly sitting on screen.
To sweeten that deal, Josh, if you don't already know this about the channel, a recent addition is that whenever we get a donation through Streamlabs, we're going to read your comment off in our best ASMR. That I don't know what that stands for, but we're going to attempt to do that for you and your donation.
I have a pineapple beer, and it's delicious, and I have this little koozie, and it keeps things cold.
Blue raspberry. Mutant Containment Unit, aka the MCU. Is that right? That's still, I don't know. There's a lot of that in Wolverine and the X-Men. For any of you that want to watch a fantastic animated show, getting pumped up for the X-Men. Anyways, so yeah, I think a big part of why I won't say loved the entirety of the season finale, but really liked it and enjoyed it, is because we're back in Jersey, and I love going to what is that city called? It's a city or country?
Karachi.
Damn, yes, sir. Karachi, yes. And it was great, but the problem is it wasn't the change in location; it was the change of supporting cast. And it's like I miss Bruno, I miss Nakia, I miss Abu, I miss Ami. Like I just miss everybody. And so it was so great getting everybody back and getting that big reveal. Where she tries to reveal that she's Nightlight to her parents, and of course her mom already told everybody, or told her dad, and then her dad was talking on speakerphone, and then Amir and his wife found out. And I love that. I think Amir steals every scene that he's in. I think her brother is fantastic. I love his facial expressions. He's so there as both just a big brother, but he's really there for his younger sister.
Absolutely.
What were some highlights? Sorry, go ahead.
Of the series as a whole?
This episode for right now.
This episode?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I like seeing them work together, and also they could have fallen into the hole of doing like a stereotypical where Nakia like found out, on accident, I guess, and they could have fallen into I'm gonna hate you now, and now I'm gonna be your villain or something to that effect.
Right.
But
they had a very nice conversation in the show. Yeah.
And she's talking over with Zoe too. And she's basically like, she saved my life. Like, and that's, basically putting um, putting everything into perspective. Like, hey, okay, we can have these little squabbles. Oh, she was trying to, save your keep you safe or whatever the case is. But the Peter Parker syndrome, I think, where it's like you have to keep everyone at a distance to keep your family and friends safe, type of thing. And so I think she realized that very quickly. And then also the entire community coming together around her, protecting her and Conran to a degree, even though he was kind of threatening them. But basically saying like, hey, you're going to have to go through us, and the actual New Jersey Police Department as well, turning on damage control and standing between them to be like, no, you're gonna. Even though as soon as they walked up to him, they just literally walked right by them. So I thought there was going to be a little more pushback, and there wasn't. But that's what it is.
And yeah, Cameron's like a walking bomb at this point. Just
Right.
And I think I love that everyone came together and that Amir showed up out of nowhere, and he's like, well, mom asked me to come look after you, and it's like, superheroes don't have chaperones. And it's like, oh, we're going to stop the DODC with softballs. No, we're going to, delay them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We're just going to delay them. We're not going to hurt them. We're just going to delay them.
I loved that. I mean, Kamala's parents have always been supportive, but when they realize that she has powers, again, and we've been saying this since the beginning of the show, there's so many opportunities in this show for them to go paint by numbers and do exactly what we expect. And they don't. We keep thinking the parents are going to be annoying and do the thing that parents always do, but they don't. And they show support for Kamala. Her mom gets her a costume. There's that great talk with her dad when he says that, Kamal means Marvel in, is it Urdu?
Urdu, yeah.
Yeah. And then she's like, I got the same name as Carol freaking Danvers. He's like, I don't know who that is. But I will say that I got, and I can't remember exactly what moments, but I got tears in my eyes twice in this finale. And I was like, hey, you know what? Even if it's not a perfect episode, if you can get me emotionally where I'm not waiting for the episode to end, then props. Like, thank you.
Yeah. And the whole scene with her father too. Well, her family at the beginning, everyone was so accepting because they already knew, they were already kind of prepped by mama ahead of time. I would have liked to kind of see what would happen if she actually did, if she was the one to tell them, or like what their initial response would have been, type of thing. Because I really thought her dad was gonna be straight up against it. Like, no, it's not safe. You can't do this.
He had a very real response. He's like, because, like, it sounded like he's like, yes, help people, but don't go looking for trouble. And she said, you raised me better than that. I have the ability to help people. That's what I have to go do. True. And seeing the response from her family, and then later on, after everything happened, seeing the response from New Jersey, which was very Spider-Man, like, hey, you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us, and I love seeing everybody come together, the community come together, and then they had all that, like, that intercut, like TikTok-esque kind of videos and stuff of everyone talking about Kamala or Nightlight. And this show just feels very warm. I think I've said for right now, it's like the MCU's Ted Lasso. Like, I just love coming in, visiting the characters. I always have a good feeling when the episode ends.
I agree with that.
Flicking Real isn't letting me donate, but on behalf
John,
of
no. Sorry. I was yelling at John for a second.
Oh, did I tear up with the X-Men theme? I teared up several times with like family moments, but when the X-Men theme, all right, let me paint a picture for you, and you can decide how descriptive you want to be. So I usually watch these first thing in the morning when I wake up before work, because I wake up a little early. And I usually watch them on my computer, and then my wife will watch them during her lunch break later while I'm at work. But my ankle was really bothering me this week. So I went, not as much as Sean's, but I just took a hot Epsom salt bath in the morning. And then in the middle of it, I was like, oh, I haven't watched Miss Marvel. And I looked at the time. So I just set my phone up on the side of the tub and watched the season finale on my phone. Still cried. So my reaction to the X-Men theme which was literally just like 3 notes, just banana. I just
That's all they need.
this
It's
in the tone.
recognizable.
Just, yeah. And it's so big for me because I tell a lot of people, without them asking, the thing that got me into comic books and superhero movies and content, and just like the reason I have a collection of comics is in the 90s, the X-Men cartoon, the X-Men animated series, and the Spider-Man show. I only had about 4 or 5 channels growing up. I didn't get to grow up with the Batman animated series. It wasn't on one of the channels I had. I watched it later. But I had Fox, and Fox had Spider-Man and X-Men. And I watched those, and Wolverine, Gambit, Nightcrawler were like my 3 favorite comic book characters until I was like 18.
Right.
So that theme is like bred into my brain. And I think not a lot of people talk about it, but even the original theme, is it the John Ottman theme or the Michael Kamen for the X-Men live action movies?
Oh, for the first movie? Yeah.
Yeah. But it's reminiscent. It's not like taken from, but when you hear it, when it's like doing the opening credits, it reminds me of the opening score for the animated show. So anyways, I just went off on a side tangent. Sean, did you cry?
I didn't cry. I don't think anything. The only thing in this episode that would have got me close to crying would be the conversation with Kamala and her father at the end, when he essentially names her. And that was I was going to show Chris's comment here. She got her entire costume from like varied around the world type of thing, a little bit from her buddy at the Red Daggers.
Also, her mom didn't make it, is my understanding. It looked like she ordered it together.
Sure.
Because
she still gave it to her.
Yes.
I didn't notice if she had the charm or the necklace. Maybe I just didn't see it, and I didn't put the pieces together. But then she gets the mask from Bruno. She gets her name essentially from her father. So I thought it was cool the way they all came together. The whole community, her whole family came together to create Miss Marvel. It wasn't just her. She's the conduit, and she's out there kicking ass. But it was everyone together. You can hear this. You can hear the theme, John.
It's an interesting choice for me.
Shows that I watched along with. I mean, it was X-Men, it was Spider-Man. I think there was a Fantastic Four show floating around too, and I remember watching that. And there was always crossovers. Blade was somewhere in between. He didn't have his own show, but he had so many episodes in the Spider-Man show. And then on the other side of it was the Batman the Animated Series, Superman, and the Justice League. But the Marvel shows, the Marvel cartoons in the 90s, killing it.
Slapped. And I had a Fantastic Four movie that came from like the animated series, and I didn't know until later that it was from like the 60s or 70s. No. I didn't know how old it was, but like it was the Fantastic Four versus Magneto, and it was like a TV movie or whatever. But anyways, got to bring this up real quick. Is it gonna play?
Nope.
Did it play? Are my sound bites working?
Hey.
Did it work that time? Hey, we have donations.
We got 2.
What's up?
We got 2.
We do have 2. We got 2 donations. I can read the first one off if you want to grab the second one. We got to read off our first Streamlab donations. First of all, thank you so much for supporting the channel. You guys are why we do what we do. Like, we could talk on the phone and text each other every day, but it wouldn't be the same as interacting with all of our fans and friends and everybody that joins us here on the live chat. And if you want to grow that community, please share it around. We'd love to. The more, the merrier. John Lastrina tipped in $3. Thank you, sir. All right. You know what they say. I wish I knew how to pronounce this. Stasiak, if you want the career-changing big fish, you got to be willing to put on the big boy panties and sail out to the deep water. From Brian O'Connor. Thank you.
John never changed. John please never change. Always with the Fast and Furious quote. You never realize how many Fast and Furious quotes you need in your life, but
do you think he has a ready-to-go Google Doc with just 8 scripts and deleted scenes? All right, I agree.
Yes, absolutely. 9 scripts. That 9th movie, not 2. Plus Hobbs and Shaw. I mean, we got 10 movies to work with. Come on.
That's true. Where's our Hobbs and Shaw's quotes, man? Like, that's one of the 2 I've seen.
You haven't seen the Fast and Furious movies?
That's not my bag.
Now's the time.
Wait, that's weird. We have one less subscriber all of a sudden.
John's like, I'm out of here. I can't believe this.
Next one's yours, Sean.
John's disappointed. Aren't we all though? This coming up on You've Never Seen It. Speaking of You've Never Seen It, tune in to Jesse and Allison breaking down the Fast and Furious franchise, and You've Never Seen It. All right, next one, I promise. What's up? Shout out to NorCal Denali. That's my buddy Joe. He's over on Twitch. He's donating. What is your favorite song to listen to for the Marvel franchise that really puts you in the mood? Like when you have candles lit and you're feeling yourself. What song do you want to hear? I really want to hear this question asked in your burst ooh-woo voice. What the fuck is an ooh voice?
I feel like it's an anime something, but I don't know what that is.
Joey, I don't know what that is, man.
Please educate us, and then we can read it again.
Yeah, Joey, tell us what ooh voice is. I'm not going to Google it. I don't want to need that on my search history. I think for Marvel, I just played the Guardians Volume 1 and 2 soundtrack, and it's a perfect mix. James Gunn did such a great job curating the entire soundtrack for both movies. And
Tyler Bates' score, like if you get the complete volume, it's just like intermixed of the score and soundtrack.
But if you just take all of Alan Silvestri's work, from Cap, from the Avengers, from 1, and then Infinity War and Endgame, and especially if Portals pops on my like mix, I'll usually have it on random. If Portals pops on, I will stop what I'm doing and just watch the last 45 minutes of Endgame, just the entire thing, from that moment, from the beginning fight with Thanos. I'll just stop what I'm doing. It ruins the next hour of my life, but I have so much fun doing it.
I love Henry Jackman's Winter Soldier theme. Is a good one. You gotta love the Avengers theme. I know there's big ones that I'm forgetting. I'm trying to like run through. Oh my goodness, the Doctor Strange theme for Michael Giacchino, I think is fantastic. I wish we got it in Multiverse of Madness. It's one of my few complaints about the movie. I actually really enjoyed is I missed the score.
Danny Elfman just did his own thing. He didn't,
which was also good.
It was cool. How new it was, but yeah, it would have been nice to hear some familiarity. And Giacchino doing Spider-Man and Doctor Strange as well. There's a lot of like rollover between the two. They kind of sound very similar too. If you notice that as well.
So that's kind of what I would say. I mean, obviously, like Sean said, anything from Guardians of the Galaxy, whether it be Come and Get Your Love or Ooh Child or Blue Swedes, Hooked on a Feeling, which was our introduction to Guardians. We had 2 weeks into shooting, we had a teaser to Hooked on a Feeling. That was the first thing we ever saw of Guardians of the Galaxy.
They ruined fan expectations for the last 8 years, 9 years.
You're not wrong.
Since that moment.
Oh my God.
Because
it's been 8 years.
Yeah, 24. Well, and that came out.
Yeah. 9 years since the teaser.
That was before. So that was 2013 Comic-Con when that happened. But ever since then, every single year, it's been like, oh, what do they have in production? Oh, well, this movie's coming out next year. So they've been filming for 3 months. We got to have a little teaser, right? Guardians did it. It's like, that's always the excuse. That's always the exception. That's just going to prove everyone right. It's like, no, dude, they haven't done it since then. But they've also had they've also been pushing out so much content since then that they don't need to tease the random movie that's coming out soon.
Oh, Haskell also reminds me of anything that shows up with Iron Man, whether it be Shoot to Thrill in Avengers or the Immigrant Song in Ragnarok. Yeah, those that's awesome.
Yeah.
With Chris, 8 years since Guardians. Wow.
It's been that long. We're all getting old. Mike, yes, Giacchino did do Thor: Love and Thunder, which I actually don't like. I mean, not that I don't like about the movie. He did a fine job. The score just didn't stand out. Mark Mothersbaugh did the score to Ragnarok, and I love the techno theme to the movie so much that I didn't feel the same love for Love and Thunder as much as I did like the movie. Just the score didn't pop.
So before I move on, we got more donations, which You guys rock. You guys kick ass. Forget about us. You guys the real heroes here. John Getz says, I need a pause in content for MCU, to be honest. Now, what I want to say is there's a lot of people saying, like, a lot of people like it should have ended after Endgame. That should have been the end, or like I Marvel fatigue. I'm over it. I'm not there. What I think, hopefully, me and John are on the same page, is pumping the brakes, and I don't mean stop. I mean less, because there's no reason that Disney should be pumping out so much stuff that Miss Marvel and like Obi-Wan overlap on the same day, and we have like 3 summer Disney Plus Marvel shows almost, along with like 2 movies. And I'm just like, yo, hey, I really liked it when we were like 2 to 3 movies a year. And it'd be cool if we had like maybe 2 shows a year. Right. Having like 6 shows a year or whatever, I'm like, this is a lot. And I don't know. I think you have time to take longer on developing your scripts, developing VFX, building out everything. And there's a lot of people that feel like Phase 4 is a flop. And that's not me. I mean, again, somebody that I'll die on the Eternals hill. Shang-Chi was fantastic. No Way Home was great. I really enjoyed Multiverse of Madness and Love and Thunder. I don't think they're perfect. They're not the best MCU, but I like them a lot. But they could have been better. And there's mandates that seem to be put in place that don't seem necessary. And I don't know if that's because they're trying to pump them out so fast. I don't know. But John, I might agree with you.
If it's the last 2 movies are any indication, mandates apparently on keeping the movie under 2 hours, which I don't like either. Because one of my, as much as I love Love and Thunder, and I liked Multiverse Madness a great deal, but not as much as a lot of other people. The gripe from both movies is I needed just a little bit more of a couple of things, which could have been done with about 15 more minutes of each movie. Yeah. I needed a little more multiverse in my Multiverse of Madness. Show us hopping through a few multiverses, maybe explain
do more with America Chavez.
Yeah. And then in this movie, like I needed a little bit more of gore, doing things, as well as some time with Valkyrie. But they're just pumping them out like a factory now, instead of, I feel like, taking the quality approach. They're doing the quantity approach, and I don't know.
Yeah, I think they don't need to overlap.
Depends on the creator too.
It would be cool if it was like we had a movie, and then maybe it was 6 to 8 months between movies, and you had a show or 2 in between there to fill in your gap. Fill a little bit of like that Marvel hole in your life. But the amount, it's constant. Like every time a show ends, the movie drops. And I'm like, this is a lot, guys. Like I'm into other stuff. Sandman's coming. Lord of the Rings. No, forget about you in a second.
They don't have to line up series back to back to back to back.
Nope.
I think, I mean, if we can, jump back to Miss Marvel, which is the whole reason we're here.
What?
the ending of Miss Marvel. What is the next show to start? Is it She-Hulk in the August 7th? I think.
Yeah.
Is that so? So this is they had shows overlapping. Why was Miss Marvel overlapping with Obi-Wan for 3 weeks? They could have pushed it back 3 weeks. It didn't tie in to the. It's not like we're getting spoilers in this that had to line up with the TV shows.
This is my quick thoughts.
Doesn't make any sense.
What is coming to be revealed, which we've brought up, the mutant aspect of it, I think is going to be touched upon in San Diego Comic-Con, which is this coming week. Now,
okay. I mean, that could be true, yeah.
However, there's no excuse to have them on the same day. True. You have 7 days of the week, and you are your own streaming service. Mm-hmm. Why does Obi-Wan and Miss Marvel have to drop the exact same time?
Yeah.
They shot themselves in the foot with marketing.
Right.
And it got swallowed up. Yeah. Instead of being able to stand on its own. And Miss Marvel's it's a great show, and it deserved better.
I didn't look it up. Maybe someone in the chat has the info. I wonder if they have shared any of the ratings, because I know there was a lot of stuff.
The ratings for Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel's the highest. What's up?
No. The ratings of watched hours or whatever for the last 3 episodes compared to the previous 3 episodes. I wonder what that is, because that was something to be. This was the lowest watched show. It was like under 1 million per episode, or whatever the case was. Well, that's because you were double dutying with Obi-Wan. There was so much other stuff on TV as well.
Yeah, or you could just have Obi-Wan start earlier.
Yeah.
It's not like
Well,
Obi-Wan tied into anything else.
Well, Obi-Wan already cranked out 3 episodes in the matter of like 4 days. They dropped 2 or 5 days. They dropped 2 on a Friday and then they had a Wednesday episode. So they were getting that show over and done with pretty quick.
They would have been done if they started May the 4th. Just saying.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Obi-Wan, if you haven't been on Twitter much lately and seen that editor extraordinaire, Mr. Kevin Smets, friend of the Schmodown, friend of the community, he did an Obi-Wan edit. It's about 2 hours and 20 minutes, 2:30. I haven't watched the full thing yet, but I started it. It's already better than the show, just in the sense that it tightens everything up.
I have to say, we have a lovely problem right now, which is we're falling behind on our Streamlab donations. We got 2 from Haskell 420 that are actually tied into each other, and then 1 after that. So I'll read these really quick. Haskell, thank you. You're the man.
Joey, we're all excited for Ted Lasso season 3. Jump back into our Thor: Love and Thunder review where we talk about that for some reason. I don't know why we would bring it up and start that review.
He's here, he's there, he's every fucking where. Hercules. All right, Hercules. All right, from Haskell 420, tipped in $5. Thank you, sir. Actually, a combination of 8, and I'll read these together. Do my best. Sup, guys? I think Deaver, the female DODC who went against her boss's order, is a Skrull. Secret invasion is coming with bad Skrulls infiltrating key positions in the government. What better job to have than being in the DODC, who hunts down enhanced individuals? If she is a Skrull, and they do say Kamala's bangle is in fact a negaband, that probably ties into the Marvels. I see what you're doing there. Skrulls would know about the Kree's negabands, and they sure AF would want them to fight the Kree and maybe Secret Wars. I just realized my ASMR voice turned into announcer voice, which I'm also down for. In a world. Yeah.
It works. It works either way. I don't necessarily agree that she is a Skrull unless
Sean, everybody's a Skrull. You're wrong.
Unless they're both Skrulls. Because I think she was just an asshole, personally. But her and Cleary, the other agent, unless they're both Skrulls and he was basically trying to rein her back in, going like, hey, you're going too far. You're too much on the radar. I need you to bring it back a bit so we don't get found out. But I think he definitely is, for sure. I'm like 95% that he is. I just don't know about her. I'm not on board.
Fair enough. Yeah. Sean, what else we got?
We got another Streamlabs from Mr.
What?
Thank you, bud. Thank you, Mr. Joe.
John is a skull. Are you just a skull? Not even a whole skeleton? Just a skull. All right, John. Thank you.
Okay. From Joey, $10. Here's $1 for every Fast and Furious. Really need to catch up. 2 of 10 is really bad percentage. I think John Lestrino would agree with Joey, and appreciate you.
It's like 1 of 5.
Yes. Sherry hopping in Twitch. Thank you, Sherry. Also, they did compete with Stranger Things type week. Yes, exactly. Netflix did a fantastic job this year compared to last, where they just dropped it all at once and no one was talking about it 2 weeks later. But because because they saved the 2 episodes for a month later, everyone was actually talking about and anticipating what the finale was going to be, what these 4.5 hours of television was going to be a month after the first half of the season, basically.
I would say Disney should follow suit, but the problem is I don't think they have strong enough finales to justify doing it. Like, I really like Ms. Marvel, but if you gave me 3 episodes at the beginning of the month and 3 episodes at the end, I would say it's a lackluster show. Probably. Stranger Things delivered pretty hard on the finale.
They did.
Like, it's so, it's gotta be worth it. Master of puppets. Yeah. Anyways,
should we start on Stranger Things theories? Because I've been going down
Stranger Theories.
Stranger Theories. I've been going down.
We're here to talk about Kamala. That's what our speakeasy's for.
It's true. Which we're going to start here in a few minutes. So we should probably wrap this up pretty soon. Let's hop back into Ms. Marvel. Talk about. I don't know how I feel about Like they tease Carol at the end. So they teased in WandaVision.
Oh,
Um,
remember that time when you got something right and I was wrong, but so convinced I was right,
you
and
were
then
you
I
were
had to
you
like
were you were throwing evidence at me the
I
entire
thought
time.
I was.
You were like, no, no, no.
I was like, look
Listen
at the
here.
receipts from the comics, bro. Kamala just
I'm
turned
like,
into Carol Danvers. It's a reference from the first issue of the first comic, man. I know what I'm talking about.
I'm like, thank you for the receipts. That has nothing to do with the TV show, because definitely Carol popped up and she was very confused as to why she was in a bedroom with
Well,
a
you
bunch
would
of
be
pictures of
confused if
herself
you looked like
everywhere.
Brie Larson all of a sudden too. So
Sure, except that why would she know she looked like Brie Larson other than her hands looked different? There was no mirrors around. She wouldn't know
yeah.
that. There
Anyways,
is
I
a
was
mirror in the
wrong.
room because we see Kamala looking at herself in the mirror. So I would have agreed with you there. No, she was confused as to where she was, not why she changed shapes. They were transported somewhere. And I was watching a new Rockstars video, and I think it played a good part is wherever she was. I guess there's a negative realm, which is what the nega bands come from. They transport people into the negative realm. So she could have been
Well, if it's a
trapped,
negative zone, that sets up some
switched.
big stuff in
That's
the
what I meant.
MCU
Negative
too.
zone.
The negative zone's where Annihilus is for Fantastic Four. The negative zone was the prison they used in the Civil War comic to put all
Okay.
the villains and unregistered heroes.
No. So they just throw them in there like a Supermax.
Yeah, it's a other dimensional like Supermax prison, basically.
Interesting. Well, that could definitely be playing into it. We could see a thing where Carol gets trapped there and now she got transported out, and maybe that's the kind of the MacGuffin of the movie. Is her and Photon have to go and rescue
I'm
these
very
women.
curious what the Marvels is about.
That's what I just told you what it was about.
I would
That's
love to know what that
that's the
movie's
point
about.
of the movie. If only they have to rescue Kamala from the negative zone.
Like if we just got some hint to what the movie was about, I think that'd be really helpful. Towards
If only they were dropping hints. Hey,
well, if only.
Did you notice I had a Thor here?
I did.
He's riding. Anything else you want to say about the show?
I don't know, but you saying him writing it just when I saw Thor: Love and Thunder the second time, I saw it with my mom, and she rolled her eyes when he jumped on Stormbreaker and rode it like a broom. I cackled both times. I was laughing maniacally. I thought it was the funniest shit in the world.
It was great. My wife
Spoilers.
was all butthurt that she doesn't like to go see opening night movies because people always clap and that gets on her nerves for whatever reason. So she's like, fine.
Meanwhile, you and me.
Yeah, she's like, fine. I'm gonna take the kids this weekend and you can't come. And I was like, well, that's fine because I want to go see Elvis anyway.
Yeah.
So I went and saw Elvis, which is like an hour longer than Thor. But so they were like texting me afterwards. Are you out of the movie yet? I'm like, no, Elvis hasn't. The end of the movie hasn't happened yet.
Elvis is still alive.
Elvis is still alive. Spoiler alert for 50-year-old spoiler, 40-year-old. But afterwards, I was like, did they ask about the orgies? Did they ask about the god orgies? Sorry. Go watch Thor: Love and Thunder if you want to know what that's about.
Yes. Anyways,
Overall, Miss Marvel is. I really think this is probably my favorite show. I did rewatch WandaVision after Multiverse of Madness came out, and I liked it so much more with a binge model instead of a week-to-week model. So I wonder, and I haven't rewatched any of the other shows, so I wonder how much they work better as a long movie instead of a week-to-week series with speculation every week. Doing our review shows and stuff like that. That plays into some of the hype. So I wonder what the quality is if you just watch them all at once. Something to explore if I had time to do so.
Anyway, oh well, I was hoping you were going to talk longer. I was trying to come up with a description for what you could possibly tell your kid orgy is, but I got.
I think this is my favorite show. It beat out Loki. I quite like WandaVision more, and
It's
also I like Falcon Winter Soldier more than a lot of people do.
I think Miss Marvel might be, at least character wise and like emotion wise, like one of the most consistent shows that they've done. Yeah. Still, though, I will continuously say 6 ain't it. Stop it. I know WandaVision was shorter, like with its 9 episodes, and it was shorter episodes, but give me like 10 45-minute episodes. You know,
I think any length of the show is fine if you're writing it
to be
for that for that length of show. I think we could tell from Obi-Wan that was the script of a movie stretched out. That was the assembly cut of a movie, and they just put it all on screen and chopped it into 6 bits. That's basically what happened. Versus if you actually have 6 episodes, you're like, I need to write 6 individual episodes for it.
All right, well, guys, let us know if you haven't already in the comments after the video's done wrapping up what you thought of the show, where it ranks in the MCU television shows, or maybe the MCU as a whole. Some people are really gung-ho about just ranking the whole MCU. I can't do that. I have to do movies and television. That's how my brain works. Look, I'm gonna turn on a light.
Wait for it.
It's dark. Nope.
Streamlabs. I know your soundboard has trouble. From Mr. Garth Harkness Memory. What's up, Garth? Thanks for tipping $3.
Get ready.
I believe that Kamala's grandmother Sana sewed the new costume since it came boxed up in Milk Toffee's box that she was hoarding in her home in Karachi.
She was a supportive special.
She based the symbol on the broken necklace. That's the best theory. That's my headcanon. I like it now.
I like it.
That she could have. Her mom could have just been hiding it in the toffee box, but that makes the most sense too. Because her grandma was full supporter the whole time. She was telling this story for generations before it's ever actually happened.
I did love what Motorola said, that quote from Kamala. It's like, "You guys okay? Yes, Miss Knightley." No, not that name.
Not that name. Not that name. That was fun.
One thing we didn't really cover is they changed her powers and and her origins, and you know what? It's the MCU.
The original writer came out and said, like, I would have made her a mutant if it weren't for the directive from above to make them all Inhumans nowadays.
There was an Inhuman mandate around 2015, which makes sense because or 14, Ike Perlmutter. But like Marvel was going to push for the Inhumans because they didn't have the X-Men. They had an Inhumans movie lined up, and Ike Perlmutter got it all involved in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff, and that whole mess happened. We don't talk; those are the dark times. We don't talk about those.
Right.
But anyways, so wrapping up so we can get started on our speakeasy and take a pee break and stuff like that. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. We love you. You're fantastic. Hopefully we entertain you. You guys seem to tune in and hang out for a while. Best part of my Friday.
Great big family with great big hug.
This episode is brought to you by Daniel Kaluuya, who is directing the new Barney movie. That's
Dark Barney.
Yeah. Dark. Yeah.
It's gonna be Dark Barney. What happens when I love you but you don't love me?
That's right. When love is not reciprocated with a giant man-eating purple dinosaur.
What if he is man-eating? This has been a great review. Fully on topic. I loved it. Good times.
Absolutely. Good times. Great times. See you guys here in about 6 minutes.
Come on back.
Subscribe, like, share. Keep being you. Keep being great. Keep it real. Talk to you on the next one.